Hello students, welcome back to JCE Connect. Today we'll be starting with module 4 of the subject Basic Electronics. In this module we'll be discussing about three important concepts, that is BJT applications, feedback amplifiers and oscillators. So first we'll see what exactly the syllabus that we are going to discuss in this module. So first we'll be starting with the discussion on how bipolar junction transistor can be used as an amplifier. That is, we are going to discuss two important applications of BJT here. The first one is BJT as an amplifier and the second one is BJT as a switch. And then we'll be demonstrating the working of BJT switch by connecting LED or a lamp, and we'll see how it can be turned on and off using the bipolar junction transistor. So these two important concepts under BJT applications we'll be discussing. That is the first part of this module 4. In the second part of the module 4 we'll be discussing about feedback amplifiers. So in this feedback amplifiers we are going to discuss about what is the principle of feedback, what are the properties and advantages of negative feedback, why negative feedback is used in amplifiers, then what are the different types of negative feedback amplifiers, and then we'll be discussing about one application of negative feedback amplifier as a voltage series feedback amplifier, and also we'll be discussing about how the gain will be stable by using what is called as negative feedback. Then in the last part of this module we'll be discussing about oscillators. Right, under oscillator we'll be discussing about the important criteria for oscillation called Barkhusen's criteria, and then we'll be discussing about two important RC oscillators or low frequency oscillators called RC phase shift oscillator and Wien bridge oscillator. And lastly we'll be discussing about one integrated circuit timer called 555 timer or 555 timer, and how this 555 timer can be used as a stable multivibrator or a stable oscillator. So this is what we are going to discuss in this module 4. So we have to start with the first part of this module, that is BJT applications. But as you all know, in this subject we have not studied about what exactly BJT is, but we have to study applications of BJT. So before we discuss about the applications of BJT, I will in brief explain you what exactly a bipolar junction transistor is, what are its types, what are the different currents and voltages that exist, what are the configurations and what is the characteristics. In brief, I will be explaining that first, and then we'll be discussing about BJT amplifier. So the quick review or recap of BJT. BJT stands for bipolar junction transistor, and BJT is a 3-terminal, 3-layer solid state device consisting of 2 PN junctions and formed by sandwiching a thin layer of semiconductor between a pair of opposite type of semiconductor, and based on which thin layer of semiconductor is sandwiched between a pair of opposite type of semiconductors, there are two different types of bipolar junction transistors. Those are called as PNP transistor and NPN transistor. So as you can see here in the first figure, it is a PNP transistor. It is constructed by sandwiching thin layer of N-type semiconductor between two P-type semiconductors, whereas a NPN transistor is obtained by sandwiching thin layer of P-type between two N-type semiconductors. So this is the symbol of PNP transistor and this is the symbol of NPN transistor. So what is the difference between the two symbols? You can see almost the symbols remain same. The three terminals of the transistor, they are marked as emitter, base and collector. But the important difference here is, you can see here in PNP transistor, the current direction is shown inside the transistor, pointing in PNP transistor, whereas in NPN transistor you can see here current direction is outside or outwards, hence it is called as NPN transistor. So whether it is a NPN transistor or a PNP transistor, almost the operation of transistor remains same, only the role of majority and minority carriers will be exchanged. Then you may ask why there are majority and minority carriers. That's why it is called as bipolar transistor. Why it is called as bipolar transistor? Because in transistor we get two types of charge carriers, that is positively charged holes and negatively charged electrons. So the role of these electrons and holes will be reversed or exchanged in case of NPN and PNP transistor. Otherwise the operation remains same. So normally in the transistor there will be two junctions. One junction is between base and emitter, that is called as base emitter junction, and another junction between collector and base, that is called as collector base junction. So the base emitter voltage normally denoted by VBE and collector base voltage can be denoted by VCB. Now since there are three terminals, emitter, base and collector, there are three currents, and those three currents are denoted as IC, the collector current, then IB, the base current, and IE, the emitter current. Out of these three current, IB, the base current, is very small, like negligibly small, hence the collector current IC and the collector current IE are almost same, though the actual relationship between these three currents is that IE is equal to IC plus IB. So if you consider this IB to be negligible, then this IE will almost be equal to IC. That is the current relationship between the transistor. Now since transistor has three terminals, but whenever you want to use transistor as a two-port network, we need four terminals, two for input and two for output. So having three terminals, how we can use it as a four terminal or two port network? So this difficulty is solved by making one of the three terminals of the transistor common for both input and output, and depending on which terminal is made common for both input and output, there are three different configurations of transistor. Those are called as common base configuration, common emitter configuration, and common collector configuration. Out of these three configuration, common emitter configuration is used in almost all practical applications, whereas common base configuration is preferred in applications like communication systems and all, whereas common collector configuration is rarely used in the applications like impedance matching and all. So to quick review, you can see the common base configuration. In common base configuration, the base is made common for both input and output. That's why it is called as common base configuration. So here you can see base is common, input is applied between emitter and base, output is taken between collector and base. So here the input current will be the emitter current, output current will be the collector current, hence the current gain for common base configuration, we can write it as output current, that is IC, by input current, that is IE, and this is denoted by alpha of the transistor. So alpha of the transistor is defined as the ratio of IC by IE, which is called as current gain of the common base configuration. And as I already told, IC will be almost equal to IE, but in always IC will be slightly less than IE, hence the value of alpha is always less than 1. Value of alpha is always less than 1. This is about common base configuration. Now moving to the next configuration of the transistor, which is called as common emitter configuration. In common emitter configuration, you can see here emitter is made common for both the input as well as output. So it is called as common emitter configuration. So in common emitter, you can see here the input is given between base and emitter, output is taken between collector and emitter. So here base current is the input current and collector current is the output current. Hence, the ratio of collector current by base current is called as current gain of the common emitter configuration and is denoted by beta of the transistor. So beta is equal to IC by IB, and you know that IB is very small, hence the value of beta will be always greater than 1. The value of beta lies in the range of 50 to 500. Always beta value will be greater than 1. It is in the range of 50 to 500. This is about common emitter configuration, and as I said, common collector configuration is rarely used. Now when you use a transistor in common base configuration or common emitter configuration, and if you want to study the characteristics of the transistor, in fact there are two different types of characteristics of the transistor we can have. One is called as input characteristics, another is called as output characteristics. In fact, there is one more characteristics that is called as current gain or transfer characteristics also. But out of these three characteristics, output characteristics is very important, because in this chapter we are going to start our discussion, actual syllabus discussion, with common how transistor can be used as an amplifier. So there you should know what exactly you mean by the three different operating regions of the transistor. So when the output characteristics of the transistor is drawn, the output characteristics can be divided into three parts. Like the output characteristics of the common emitter configuration will be of this nature, right? So it can be divided into three parts. So this portion is called as, there are three regions. This is called as saturation region. Then the portion below the curve I equal to 0, here this portion is called as cutoff region, and this portion is called as active region. Now what do you mean by these three regions? In cutoff region, both the junctions of the transistor will be reverse bias, whereas in this region both the junctions of the transistor are forward bias, whereas this portion where the output current is almost constant with respect to output voltage is called as active region of the transistor. And in this active region, the input junction, that is emitter junction, will be always forward bias, and the output junction, that is collector junction, will be always reverse bias. So when we want to use a transistor as an amplifier, we have to operate transistor always in this active region of the transistor. And for the next second application which you are going to study here, that is when you want to use transistor as a switch, then you have to operate alternately the transistor in cutoff region and saturation region, so that you can use it as on-off switch. So with this brief review or recap of what exactly transistor is, now we can move into the actual syllabus of this module 4. That is, before that already we have discussed alpha is called as the current gain of common base configuration, beta is called as the current gain of the common emitter configuration, and the relationship between alpha and beta is given there as alpha equal to beta upon 1 plus beta and beta equal to alpha upon 1 minus alpha. So collector current IC can be written as beta times IB, where beta is the common emitter current gain, because as I said, the common emitter configuration is more widely used configuration. Now we'll move into the actual syllabus. As you have seen in the first slide, your syllabus starts with BJT as an amplifier. But to understand this, you should know what exactly the transistor is. So I have covered in brief what exactly you mean by a transistor and its associated current, voltages, configurations, etc. Now we'll start with what exactly you mean by amplifier. As you all know, amplifier is nothing but it is a device which can increase the strength of the input weak signal. If you use transistor to achieve this amplification, then we call it as transistor amplifier. That is, the transistor circuit which increases the strength of the input weak signal is called as transistor amplifier. Normally the weak input signal is applied between the emitter and base, and the output is taken across the load RC connected in the collector. Thus a small input voltage results in a large output voltage. That shows that transistor works as an amplifier. In order to achieve faithful amplification, we should have proper biasing of the transistor, and as already told, if you want to use transistor as an amplifier, you should use it in active region where the emitter base junction should be always forward bias and collector base junction should be always reverse bias. Right? Next, we are going to see how the transistor can be used as an amplifier. So this is very important from your examination point of view and also from the understanding point of view. You can see here I have used a transistor which is connected in common emitter configuration. Why it is called as common emitter configuration? Because emitter is connected to ground. And here I have shown it is a NPN transistor because current is pointing out. Right? So transistor is used here in common emitter configuration. So we can call this circuit as common emitter amplifier. What are the other things used along with the transistor? We have shown one input resistance RB here and the collector load RC. And then in addition to RB and RC, here we have used one battery VCC whose positive terminal is connected to collector and negative terminal is connected to ground. And we have used one battery VBB at the input whose positive terminal is again connected to the base and negative terminal is connected to ground. So these batteries are used for biasing, and these batteries will ensure that the transistor input junction is forward bias and the output junction is reverse bias. Now to show this circuit acts as an amplifier, to this circuit at the base we are going to connect a AC input. You know that AC quantity is nothing but alternating quantity whose magnitude and direction changes with respect to time as shown in this particular waveform. Right? Now if you apply directly this AC voltage to the base, what happens? During the positive half cycle, voltage applied at the base will be positive, so the base emitter junction will be forward bias. And during the negative half cycle, input applied at the base will be negative and the base emitter junction will be reverse bias, and because of this the transistor will not be operated in active region. Hence, to ensure that base emitter junction always remains forward bias, this battery VBB is added along with this AC signal, so that the effective input you can see here is the AC signal shifted by DC. You can see this is the VB, so the AC signal is shifted up by an amount equal to this VBB added. Because of this, what happens? Again the AC signal has positive half cycle, negative half cycle, but you can see from this particular waveform, even during negative half cycle, the effective voltage applied at the base will be positive because the entire AC signal remains in the positive quadrant. That is the advantage of using this biasing battery VBB with in the input along with the input AC signal. So always the base emitter junction remains forward bias, and this VCC will ensure that collector base junction remains reverse bias. So all the time transistor is operated in active region, so definitely there will be faithful amplification. Now we'll see how exactly the faithful amplification or how this transistor amplifies. Now during the positive half cycle, you can see the input signal goes on increasing. So when the input signal goes on increasing, the base current IB also start increasing, and since base current IB starts increasing, for a small increase in this base current IB, there will be a large increase in the collector current IC, because we know that IC is equal to beta times IB, and the value of beta is typically in the range of around 100 to 200. So if you take the value of beta as even 100, so 100 times more current will be flowing in the collector circuit. That means when there is a small increase in the base current, there is a large increase in the collector current IC, and that collector current IC flows through this resistor RC. As a result, more voltage will be developed across RC, and whatever voltage we get across the load RC will be much higher in magnitude than this input signal. Hence we get the amplified signal at the output. This is what happens during the positive half cycle of the input signal. Now what happens during the negative half cycle of the input signal? During the negative half cycle of the input signal, though the input is negative, but the effective voltage applied at the base will still remain positive. As a result, the base emitter junction is forward bias. Again, when there is a change in the base current in the opposite direction, that means now the base current is increasing in the opposite direction. Again, for the small increase in the base current, there is a large increase in the collector current, and we get a large voltage across the collector resistor RC, and we get the amplified version. So when we take the output across RC, it will be in phase with the input, but normally we take the output between collector and emitter, and when you take the output between collector and emitter, if you apply KVL at the output, it can be shown that this output equation, that is VCE, equal to this supply voltage VCC minus IC into RC. You know that VCC is what? The DC signal. So above VCC, it is changing minus IC into RC. That's why there is a phase difference of 180 degree between this signal and this signal. You can see here input is increasing. Like here input is starting from 0 and it is increasing. Whereas here you can see the output is starting from 0 and it is increasing in the negative direction. That means there is a phase difference of 180 degree between the input and output. Hence every common emitter amplifier stage gives a phase difference of 180 degree between input and output. That's the reason why here you can see the output is inverted. Inverted means 180 degree phase shift. So this is how the transistor can be used as an amplifier. I hope it is clear. So transistor should be operated in active region, and whenever an input is applied during positive half cycle, when there is a small increase in the base current, large increase in collector current occurs because of IC is equal to beta times IB. More current flows through the load and more voltage is developed across the load, which is the amplified version of the input. Similarly, during negative half cycle, the base current IB will be changing in the other direction, keeping the base emitter junction still forward bias. So again, for a small change in the base current in the opposite direction gives a large change in the output voltage again in the opposite direction. Hence in both the half cycle we are getting a very large output compared to input. Hence the circuit is called as transistor amplifier. Now how do we derive the voltage gain of this transistor amplifier? Now if you consider the forward bias base emitter junction presents a very low resistance, whereas reverse bias collector base junction resistance, reverse bias collector base junction will present very high resistance. So if you look back into the figure here, in this figure if you see the resistance offered by the input side, that is base emitter junction, is very small, and we can denote that as say a resistance RE. Then the base voltage VB, that is the voltage what we get here, this VB can be written as IB into RE or RE dash, where the RE or RE dash what I have shown is the effective resistance seen into the input terminals of the transistor. Similarly, the AC voltage across the load RC is given by what? VC is equal to IC into RC. If you take across collector emitter voltage, it is VCC minus IC into RC. But if you take across the load, it is IC into RC. But as I already told, the current IC is almost equal to IE because the base current IB is very small. Hence, the voltage VC can be written as IC, the voltage VC which is IC into RC we can write it as IE into RE, and the input VB we have written it as IE into RE dash. So if you take the ratio of 2, we get the voltage gain. Actually voltage gain AV is the output voltage to the input voltage. What is the output voltage here? The collector voltage VC. What is the input voltage here? The base voltage VB. What is VC? IC into RC. What is VB? IE into RE dash. Right? But IC is almost equal to IE. So using this we can get the expression for voltage gain of the transistor, that is AV equal to VC by VB, and I can write that as IC into RC by IE into RE dash, and since IC is almost equal to IE, we can cancel that IC or IC and IE, and we can write the voltage gain for the BJT amplifier, common emitter amplifier, is given by RC by RE dash. And from this you can see that since RC is always considerably larger in value, the output voltage for this configuration is definitely more than the input. Hence we call this circuit as transistor amplifier. So this is the voltage gain of the transistor amplifier, which is given by AV equal to RC by RE dash. I hope, dear students, you understood the working of BJT amplifier and also the derivation of BJT amplifier's voltage gain, which is given by AV is equal to RC by RE dash. With this, we'll close the discussion on BJT amplifier.